Thank you everyone for joining our second webinar of our second section from skills to action on training, expedition and market pathways. So this second session of the webinar series, that is the future ready manufacturing, start with people, upskilling, collaboration and fast reconfiguration for Europe's industry. In the last session, we saw that there are the new skills that are required in the new manufacturing sector, so new methods like training and survey to understand the level of knowledge in the market. What difficulties are inherent in implementing these methods. What we want to explore today, what we want to see more in details is how the project is transforming research findings into industry usable solutions. What strategies is a project following to take this solution beyond the project, and how the project or the projects are creating collaborative networking between industry, research stakeholders in order to facilitate the adoption of this innovation. Just a reminder that this webinar series, the first one and the second one, was organized by Sixes within the Rare Square project and with the support of the AI for Manufacturing communities. This is the reason why at the end of the webinar you will find this recording on the AI for Manufacturing website. So as you know, it's an online space for the collaboration, knowledge sharing and building partnership across Europe project in the field of new technology for manufacturing sectors. So if there are no questions about the start of the webinar, we can just start together. First, we will hear the speech, then we will be a little discussions between among us. So there will be a few questions. If there are no questions, I will have questions. So just take notes on any question or curiosities that you might have in order to have and ask at the end of the webinar. So here's the order more or less of the project. We will start with the voltage and biogems. I don't know if do you want to share the screen? Can you share the presentation?
Yeah, I will share my screen.
I will stop here. Okay.
And I believe you see my screen now.
Yes, we can see. Thank you.
Yeah, and I understand we have like 5 minutes per project. Correct? But share this.
Yes. Thank you.
Yes. So hello everyone. My name is Pavel Kopilov. I work for EIT Manufacturing North. So we are based in Sweden in Gothenburg, and today I'm going to speak about two projects that we have, voltage and biogems. I will start because I think we still need to remind about the project a bit for everyone to remember to have the context. So Voltage project is funded through Erasmus program. It's focused on education training. It's 4 years. We have 5 countries, 5 regions. And it's funded within the framework of Centers for Vocational Excellence. Yes. So key activity that we have within the project is to attract young talent to the battery industry, and has to enhance teachers' competence, facilitate knowledge exchange between education and industry, promote innovation in vocational education and training, strengthen industry-academia partnership, support the development of skilled workforce. I think it's this project can be a bit different from other projects presented in this forum, because given the focus on education and training, and specifically education training of teachers in vocational training providers. So yeah, we tried to answer the questions that you shared with us for this webinar. So main things that we are building in the project. So, and I can say that in summary, you can think of Voltage as we are trying to create a community thing. So we are not developing any specific tools or technologies, IPRs. It's more based on building the community and recognition within the community. So first thing that we have is Teachers Forum. It's so-called. It's like online platform where teachers, instructors from partner organization can meet, share their experiences, share the materials, and yeah, it's made on very simple Moodle interface. I think most of people are familiar with this, and so it's the place, repository, and network for the teachers. We also have in the project, we arrange annual Train the Trainers events. These are in-person events in all countries within the project. When yeah, it's also several days, often times like 2-3 days, and it's exchange of experiences between the teachers of that institutions. We also have battery camps, and the idea here is to increase the attractiveness of the battery sector in specifically, and also to increase the attractiveness of STEM educations. Like, for example, here you see those girls, participants in our girls camp, dressed as technicians in the battery factory. We also have established a so-called voltage ambassador program. So it's an effort to create multiplier effect, as you call them in application. So those teachers who attend Train the Trainer events physically, they then go to their home countries, and they provide regional trainings for their colleagues in like mini formats. So they are spreading the knowledge from the project. So, like for example, we had so far we had one Train the Trainer, and one more is coming in June, and we had about 15 regional trainings already from first Train the Trainer event. We also created, for increasing the attractiveness of the industry, we also created a set of videos that are available on the project website, and it's very short videos about different role that you can have working in the battery industry. Again, the focus here is to attract young talent, but also to help teachers, schools engage students in these educations. And also we're working with developing skill cards and learning materials aligned with the industry needs. And here we have also industry involved, helping us to formulate those cards and needs for the industry. Yeah, how we turn evidence into solutions. So we did some research, and it's continuing. So voltage is part of a cluster of projects within automotive sector, and we are building on materials that were created previously, and also doing our own research on professional roles within the industry. We prepare the skill cards. So it's, so to say, this list of what you should be able to do if you work in this role in the battery industry. And we're also creating training materials, and they are packaged as modules, and schools, after the project ends, the schools can implement those modules in their own trainings. So I mentioned about Automotive Skills Alliance. So this is a cluster of projects within automotive sector that we are using, and we are using their platform for hosting our trainings and network. So it's growing, and also it stays one place for automotive industry, at least, to find the trainings created in EU-funded projects. We have ambassador program for so those teachers who conducted Train the Trainers, they become ambassadors, and so it's more of a branding thing. So but we use it to make sure that the learnings are spread out in the regions and locally through those ambassadors. And of course, materials are available for general public to use and participate in organizations. Collaborative platforms. So how we make sure that we can drive adoption of things that we do in the project. So we have municipalities involved in the project, which have good connections to the schools and have good networks. We also have cluster organizations like EIT Manufacturing, or like we have a E-Mobil in Germany, cluster organization for Baden-Württemberg. We're also part of Automotive Skills Alliance, who is a associate partner for the project. And yeah, we have educator community level as Teachers Forum. We engage industry in trainings, also in review of the skill cards. So, for example, here we have a picture of trainers during the trainer event in Turkey, and it was conducted together with Ford Otosan, regional branch of Ford in Turkey. And apart from this, also with the project, we will participate in Euroskills competition. So it's the biggest competition in Europe for vocational education. It's run biannually, once in 2 years, and yeah, students from our partners will be present there and participate. This was all about voltage. Any questions you can ask later, I guess, or yes, I will just find BioGemC. Again, this is a Horizon project, so it's a bit different focus. 42 months, yeah, 5 regions of 6 regions, countries, and coordinated by ITA from Spain Research Institution. And partner composition is mostly research organizations. We have several companies, core and verticore, and Arena here, and EIT Manufacturing, more like cluster organization. So the project is working with bio-based materials, so application of bio-based materials for 3D printing. And we are working mainly within construction industry. So we will be printing panels for buildings and measure this innovation and how the material performs. So we will check in different environments. Yes, solutions that we are developing. So probably one of the most visible are smart living labs. So we will have 3 demo sites in Spain and in Sweden. We wanted to have them in different climatic conditions. Where materials will be tested, and also some will be on residential buildings, some will be on more administrative type of buildings, and some will be on bicycle shelter. So we will 3D print panels for these demonstrations. And there will be a digital also platform for this, and some education and training materials to support implementation of this. Yeah, and solutions, so we will develop business models, and mainly business partners within the consortia will take a lead on business models once the project is over. Results will be packaged as open tools and open data that can be reusable by other partners, as well as education materials. And a very brief slide on how we collaborate, which networks we use, and of course, apparently the partners within the consortia are the closest. And as I said, so we have industry and we have research companies, and also clustering activities. So we are building a cluster on five projects focusing on bio-based materials, and we will have the first workshop in June already with one of the projects, and from this probably we'll have even more initiatives, and yeah, I'll be able to have more information and more details on what tools we'll be developing together. Yes, it was all for me for the two projects, and happy to answer any questions, if not now, but later or through personal contact.
Thank you. Thank you so much. If there are some questions now, we can take time. Okay, and go Ines, please.
Hi, thank you very much. I like very much your presentation. Thank you for that. My question focuses on one of the targets that you mentioned in voltage, meaning the municipalities.
Yeah.
That you contact in order to get in touch with the schools, etc. We have some experience with other projects where we find very difficult to communicate and collaborate with municipalities. I don't know if you have any advice to give on how you manage to make this target work in voltage or in any other projects.
I would say that this project is very much driven by municipality and especially Gothenburg. And the application was prepared in the time when they were planning to build this big factory, a battery factory in a region. So there was strong interest from municipalities. I also know that partners from municipalities that we have, they are working on a national framework for certification of vocational trainings. It's called Technique College. So they have a national program built on this. And I think from this platform and certification program, the interest came to work with within Erasmus project. So yeah, I hope I answered to your question, or at least from experience in voltage.
That's very nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
If there are no other questions, we can move forward to the next project. Thank you so much for your presentation. And I can give the floor to René Nikos.
Yes. Good afternoon. Thank you
Good
for
afternoon.
the invitation. Just a moment. So, okay, so I think you can see the presentation in full screen now. Okay, so good afternoon. I'm Nikos Panopoulos. I'm working in the IT manufacturing south in our Athens office, and I'm here today to present the RNA project. The full title is Flexible Remanufacturing Using Artificial Intelligence and Advanced Robotics for Circular Value Chains in European Industry. It is an Horizon Europe project focused on a new business model of under circularity, the remanufacturing, based on key technologies such as AI, advanced robotics, digital product passport, and some other innovations that we will see in the next few slides. The project is funded under Horizon Europe program, and it started in January 2024 and has a 48 months duration. As you can see at the right side, we have a diverse consortium across Europe, combining research excellence with well-known universities, RTOs, and 4 use cases. Here we can see that the technological developments are closely aligned with real industrial and manufacturing needs. In this slide, we can see the 4 different end users of our project and a screenshot of the pilots under development in simulation. The common issue here is that all end users produce products under mass production business model. So we have returned used products in different conditions, and we develop in this project different tools and modules to identify the remaining useful life, the identification with AI and machine vision of useful parts such as fans and screens, working screens in the household appliance use case. I have a video in the next few slides. Just to move on here, I have split the presentation to address some key questions that we're trying to answer in our project. The first one is how to enable circular value chain design to support remanufacturing. This question is addressed through work package 3 and prototypes of modules such as product state diagnosis, digital product password methodologies, or disassembly planning tools or evaluation tools of the condition are developed. Similarly, the second question is how to enable integration, orchestration, and traceability of the processes from the shop floor level to higher level. Here we have modules and assets such as the integration platform that is horizontal and hosts all technical developments such as the remanufacturing cell digital twins or supplier network management tools that are developed by our experts. And moving on here, we can see that this slide addresses 2 questions. The first is how to handle one-of-a-kind return products with unknown issues. And the second one is how to strengthen workforce skills and capabilities. On the first point, in our work package 5, we have developed AI-enhanced flexible production modules such as a robot skills library, resource control frameworks, AI perception modules. All these modules help create adaptive and intelligent remanufacturing cells in simulation and in our test beds, as you can see in the screenshot here, in the laboratory phase at this moment. And the second part focus more on upskilling of the workforce. The first point is to identify job requirements with questionnaires, surveys, both by one meetings with the operators and the end users, and we have also launched a stakeholder survey to capture the image of and the interest of the general stakeholders. And last but not least, the educational platform is under development to host education material and will be linked with a chatbot LLM model to help the user and identify and find useful material. Just a few videos to understand a little bit the first phases of the development. It is some examples of key disassembly operations in a typical household appliance such as our refrigerator. This is under the Arcelic use case. And at the right side, you can see the KPIs that are defined by the end users. And finally, this is the last slide, focused more on dissemination, exploitation, and networking. In this work package, we are the leaders. We follow the typical dissemination networking activities with web portal, participation in events, scientific and technical publications. Regarding the clustering activities, we are in the twin transition cluster with sister projects, and we follow the EFRA events, EIT manufacturing events, AMNet conferences and workshops as well. And regarding exploitation, at this period, we are under a refinement of the initial list of the exploitable results to conclude to 5 or 6 key exploitable results to scale up towards the end of the project. And finally, there is one task led by a technical partner for standardization analysis. That's all for a project. You can scan this and follow our social media, website, and YouTube channel. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nikos. Thank you for your presentation and your effort. If there are some questions to Nikos in general. Otherwise, we can move on with the next one. Okay, so next one is Rari Square. Alexander.
Thank you, Simona. So I will try to share my screen now. I hope you can see my first slide.
Great. Yes, we can see. Thank you.
Great. So my name is Alexander Dementiev. I'm from Fraunhofer IWU from Dresden, and my presentation is about the Rare Square project. I already presented this project in our last webinar. Today I would like to highlight some results related to the topic of our webinar today, only to remember the main ideas of the project. The main goal of the Rare Square is to create a flexible and resilient ecosystem of methods and tools to support of rapid configuration of processes, process chains through collaborative systems, and also adaptable workforce upskilling. So now I only want to highlight some results. So I mean the skill gap detection tool and also a car to co-creation solution. The both of the tools are developed or driven by SMEs and could serve as an example of, I would say, successful process work. So I will start with the skill gap detection tool. At a high level, one could say that this tool helps to achieve business goals of some companies by using qualified staff. Yeah, it is a standard task, I would say. Our partners from R2M, they also are present today here. They also presented this tool during our last webinar with some short video and live introduction. If you have, if you will get any question, you can ask. For example, Giuseppe Scarpi is here. So if you have any questions about the more details, I would just like to underline that this tool supports the complete upskilling process. Yeah, you can see here in the right part of this slide all the steps that are needed to complete this upskilling approach. Yeah, from profile specification through self-assessment by workers or other staff, and up to providing of training or trainings or additional information. Yeah, it is a good example how the small companies can do the project work in a really big research project. So another example of successful project work and also cooperation is the so-called Car2 platform. which implements currently also a rare square toolbox. This means that all suitable exploitation results of rare square project, like tools, also like skill gap detection tool, for example, are placed in a software catalog, in a kind of software catalog with a matchmaking function. So interesting is that also other the colleagues or partners from other projects could also be. It is also possible for the other partners to put their results in the Kato platform. Here we can discuss it with our SIXIS colleagues, with Simona and Alessandra, but I think this option also could be considered. So, and so that was the examples of a successful cooperation with small and medium-sized companies. Now at the end of my short speech, I want to present one discussion topic about the engagement of SMEs. Sure, for the creating of collaborative networks between industry, research institutions, stakeholders, and so on. It is crucial to facilitate the adoption of innovations and so on. And the role of SMEs is crucial. And I made in the last years an interesting observation based on many research projects. Sometimes once a project has been approved by some SMEs, the motivation drops dramatically. I'm not sure, is it, did you already expect also the same effect, but at the same time, the project goals and also expectations have been intentionally adapted to the needs of the small and middle-sized enterprises, and engagement of such small companies is crucial to the overall project success. But it is also the project management team task to keep such companies motivated. It is the discussion question: what could be the best way to keep this motivation by small companies still high? What actions could be done for that? It is a really strict time management, some administrative procedures or sanctions in the worst case. So that was from my side. Thank you for your attention, and I inviting you for the discussion probably after all the presentations.
Yes, thank you, Alexander. If someone wants to say something, to wait for the presentation of other project, you can ask wherever you want. Yes, we have a question.
Thank you, Alexander. Just wondering, will it be possible to access this platform now or after the project is over? How you plan to distribute it or publish it somewhere?
This platform will be maintained by our SIXIS colleagues. It is not the platform developed only special for Rare Square project. Also, some business model is in the background of this platform. You can imagine that like a I would say Facebook for the industry, for industry, or Tinder for industry, for industrial companies. And sure, this, Simona?
I didn't want to interrupt. Just to say, if you want, I can show you the demo live of Cartoon, if you prefer, if you want to see more in details how it's used in the Rare Square project, I mean.
Yeah, it would be a good idea. And this platform will kept alive also after the end of the Rare Square.
Yes, I will show something to you. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So this is inside the Cartoon platform. The access is as a participant, so I don't have the full access. I cannot manage nothing. I just can see what's inside. The Rare Square toolbox is used to discover explore tool using the I will show later. In the first part of the room, you can see some rural attachment. Here is a small guide how to use Cartoon. You can download the PDF and see how Cartoon works. And here we have all the submission list where you can see a list of all the tools inside the Rare Square project. I can search as a participant what kind of tools I need by filters or by requirements. So like digital twin, I filter by requirements like this, and they show me just the digital twin tools, or I can search by search by user, by description, by title. I mean, whatever is like this, I can search the name, so the specific word, or by requirement. So it's a way to have more details inside all the tools. Inside, this is how will be inside the tools. Now we have the Rare Square author and the mail of Rare Square, but the idea is to have the email and the contact of the person or the owner of the tool. So here is just a little description of the tool, the type of AR, the sector, the type of technology involved, the demo cases application, and here's the year manager name and contacts of the owner. And also we have the possibility to have a like feedback. I mean, I can vote also the tool, and the possibility to contact direct here the tool owner, because the comments will be live and they can reply to me live. And all the people that have the access to Cartoon and this tool can see the previous comments on that. So and also I have the possibility, of course, to contact direct by email the tool owner. This is more or less how it's used in Rare Square. It's a showcase of all the demo and the tools and the possibility to contact directly in live the owner of the tool. It's very fast description, I know, but it's just to have an overview on how it works. I don't know if Alexander wants to add something more, or Domenico, I don't know.
Thanks, Simona. But you have covered all the points, and just one mention: the Rare Square Toolbox is open access, so everyone that would like to include their exploitable results or tool inside this box, we can. And we can discuss how. And it is a way to go in a fast way towards the market and the clients. So we have this showroom, and clients can access and see what is the tool that better fits their needs and contact directly the tool owner to have an economical offer and make business.
Yes, thank you, Domenico. If there are no questions about Rare Square or Cartoon in general, we can move to the next project.
Maybe I can add something before moving forward to another project. As I shared on the chat, we have open day activity event of Rare Square. It will be totally online and will take place on the 20th of May. It will start at 9 o'clock CET time. So if you want to explore more about the Rare Square project, we are happy to host you in this event. Thank you. I put there in the chat the news of this event, and also the registration link is inserted in the news, so you can easily find. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I think we can move forward to Alberto. One.
Or maybe Ruben can do an introduction, or I can do an introduction. You were talking about multimod, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
Okay, because Alberto will do the presentation of the Avanti solution for upskilling and reskilling. But I don't know if Ruben, you want to do a couple of words, or me, as you prefer.
Yeah, I can say a few words about multimold. Meanwhile, Alberto is preparing the presentation about the Avanti ecosystem. Multimold is a project about injection molding. I mean, we presented it in the last session. As part of this project, I mean, we have several tasks related to skill gaps, how to reskill workers, how to detect the gaps or detect the needs that the industry is going to have when new injection molding jobs are available. As part of this project, we are using this tool that Alberto is going to present. Let's say in the template you share, there was a question also about how we are reaching stakeholders. So I will also mention it now. I mean, we are doing several activities. I mean, we have a group of people working on communication and dissemination. Basically, the reach of stakeholders is a mix between being involved in associations and clusters. So Multimold is involved in LIMEX and in other clusters, and we are discussing with some of them. We have a communication strategy similar to the other projects, so we are trying to reach audiences through social networks and some other events. We do also participate in workshops, workshops and events like EFRA every year, or even in sustainable places. And of course, we collaborate with other projects in this kind of webinars. So this is more or less our strategy for reaching stakeholders. And now I leave the floor to Alberto to present the tool that we are using in the project for the skills related activities. Alberto, we cannot hear you. I don't know if you are talking.
We cannot hear you. No.
Maybe you should hear me.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry. Oh, yes. Okay. So I was just saying thanks to Ruben and Giuseppe for introducing me. And yeah, we will see the Avanti ecosystem for multimold. And let's go with this overview. So the Avanti ecosystem is a way we intend to promote and to evolve a way in order to the Avanti ecosystem is a system with an AI-powered engine, which is intended to support today's manager to its business goal and sustains growth of human resources. So for multimold in particular, we are evaluating the Avanti mainstream and the virtual interviewer. So the first two steps of this ecosystem, the first two components of this ecosystem. So let's go step by step and see what's the Avanti mainstream. So Avanti mainstream is the tool that enables the skill assessment on factual data like CVs, questionnaires, modules, is systematic and explainable, and it's intended to enables the users to go from the cows to the order, so different profiles become comparable in terms of skills. Then the Avanti mainstream is enables to get insights at individual and company level. Furthermore, it enables to detect skill gaps and suggest custom training paths. So this is, for example, a screenshot from this solution with a report for, in this case, an assessment for policy specialist for support to the citizen. So we see here a percentage and then a report for each skill that has been missed or that has been achieved. Then in this ecosystem, we have also implemented the virtual interviewer, which is an AI power interviews for candidates, new hires, and employees. It is a natural dynamic experience that adapts to responses, and it enables to activate multilingual and multimodal support. So the user can interact with this solution via voice, via chat, or both. This is, for example, a first screenshot of the setup of the virtual interviewer, where the HR can set up the job profile. He wants to spread the interviews, and the company profile, so a description of the company. And after these steps, the users can just clicking on a link can start the interview, and they can interact with a virtual interviewer in a very realistic environment via voice and via chat. Furthermore, the ecosystem is now evolving with two more components. The first one is the onboarding assistant, which is an intelligent assistant to accelerate the onboarding journey for new hires. So it is based on the same interaction of the virtual interviewer, but it brings in the game a step further when the candidate has been already hired and it starts the journey in the company. So it enables to detect levels of skills, help mentors, and customize the training of a new hire, and skip topics where new hires are proficient. Yeah, this is the third point. And furthermore, obviously, reduce time, increase effectiveness, and boost the user satisfaction. So we can say that the onboarding system can be summarized with these three steps. So interactive interviews, access skills through natural language conversations, voice or chat, personalized onboarding, so skips or deep dives into topics based on the new hire's proficiency. Efficiency speeds up the onboarding process, improving training effectiveness, and obviously the multilingual support available in multiple language. Yeah. Cultural integration, because this solution helps new hires familiarize with company values, procedures, and dynamics. Last but not least, the on-the-job assistant, which is a virtual mentor at your disposal. Also, this tool is AI power, easy access to companies' procedures, manuals, rules, and more. Designed for hands-free operation, full bidirectional voice support for hands-free interaction. And so explanation and suggestion guides employees through procedures, rules, best practices. Hands-free, so full voice interaction for seamless usability. Multilingual, interact in your profile language, even if the source documents are in another. And 24/7 availability, ready to assist when you need. So these two, we imagine these two to help users that are, as the picture represents, are concentrated in a specific topic, and they need some help. So maybe they can interact with this system, asking specific questions about how to connect some components, how to interact with a specific machine, and stuff like that. So thank you all for the attention. If you want to learn more about Avanti, you can visit www.avantisolution.eu and learn how Avanti can empower human resources and sustain upskilling and reskilling in EU research. Giuseppe Scarpi is the leader in this topic. So if you want, here are his contacts. Thank you all for the attention.
Thank you, Alberto. I would like just to add one thing. As you said, the last two are not planned to be used in multimodal, but in fact, as you noticed, the on-the-job assistant tackles with a very, very similar case than multimodal. In fact, it was inspired by the fact that people has hands busy with tools. The glaze concentrated on the electronic board, which is exactly one of the topic of multimodal. And then you cannot interrupt, write a command or a question on the keyboard and then return to your work. And it was exactly what inspired us to create the job assistant.
Okay. So thank you all. If you have any question, we are here to reply. James.
Okay, thank you, Alberto. Thank you, Giuseppe. I think we can move forward to the next one and last one project. So I will leave the floor to regroup.
Yes, thank you, Simona. I will try to share my screen here. Do you all see my presentation?
Mm-hmm.
And in presentation mode also now?
Yes.
Great, thank you so much. So my name is Andreas. I am from Funding Box, and I'm here representing our three group. Funding Box is exploitation manager in Regroup. So I will gladly take a bit on how we do exploitation and market pathways, and of course also the trainings here. So I will share briefly with the project how we are moving forward from this research focus specifically on resilient and rapid reconfigurability in the production, and specifically the topics of today from the lab and into the factory and even beyond the project and into the actual European market. So first of all, in relation to what we are doing as a project to transform research findings into industry usable solutions, we have several technologies developed throughout the program, several multi-level digital twins. We have an AAS-enabled platform. We have AI-driven monitoring. So we have a lot of different tools, and those we are testing across 5 different industrial pilots. We are testing them not only first, of course, we are developing them and deploying them, and then we're deploying them in the industrial pilots, but with a focus on reaching a TRL 7 at least. And these are not being done as just isolated tests. They are full-scale deployments in all of these various sectors of automotive, plastics, white goods, copper tubes, and fashion. And the idea here is, of course, to ensure that these solutions are flexible, scalable, and solve generally the challenges and bottlenecks of the shop floor. But of course, also we have solutions that are specifically developed in either of these diverse sectors. But there are several of them that are generic, and it's important for us also to test that they can be used in more than just one pilot, and of course also further than that. But I will come back to that. So moving from the lab scale into the industrial environments, we aim at this TRL 7. So throughout the project, we are moving from a beginning of around 4 or 5 up till at least 7, and even some of the solutions beyond that. So a specific example here of what we are doing could be the Cathy Fashion pilot line. So that's fashion, it's women's wear. They have the challenge of 30 days lead time for a required sample approval. So it takes a long time to make a decision on when a specific design can be selected or chosen. Another problem is that there are several physical prototypes wasted per garment cycle. So they send back and forth 3 to 7 physical prototypes, and then the end user or the customer, they make slight changes, they send it back, then you make the changes again, then you send it back until you are ready. And then there's also 12 to 15 pieces of fabrics scrapped per every 50 piece order. So there's also a lot of things here that can be optimized. And specifically for Cathy Fashion, where you have a lot of manual labor and less digitalization, the focus has been on providing, first of all, a product digital twin, so that this can be simulated and shown visually, and so that customer and developer can work together on it. And that happens through a co-creation tool, which is called Nuform. That's already now available, and Cathy Fashion is using it together with their actual customers also. So they can have co-creation virtually. They can see, like, okay, in terms of digital billing of materials, how does that change when we change what it looks like, if we cut this, if we add this, or if we add that. So that idea of them working mutually on this. So trying to simulate everything. On top of that, we also have a process line digital twin. So once these things are accepted, it's moved directly to the shop floor, and reconfiguration is also done virtually, and a simulation is done so that the workers on the shop floor, they get clear instruction on what are we reconfiguring into now. These are the changes. This is what has to be done. And for the lead time here, with the implementation of these digital solutions, the lead time can be halved. So that's around 2 weeks instead of a full month. Physical prototypes, of course, still might need to be a bit back and forth, but we have now one digital solution where they can work on it. So ideally, it will be only 1 or 2 samples that need to be shipped, and the pieces of fabric that is scrapped can also be reduced with up to 20%. So that's also a considerable amount. So besides what we are doing within the project and how we are building the solutions and testing them directly in the pilot lines, and also from the pilot lines to their end users, what we're doing on top of this is also developing what we call the customer discovery methodology, which is an iterative validation process of the business models that are built around the project. So we start out by having all the different solutions, all the key exploitable results, all the things that we set out to do. Then, besides what being deployed within the pilot lines, we are also launching an early adopters program. We have a KPI of engaging at least 5 external SMEs as beta testers. The early adopters program is a program where we try to simplify the solutions, those solutions that can be commercialized, those that can stand alone and be offered independently of the full set and also the full set of all the things that works together, for instance, in the pilot lines where we have many solutions at once working together. But here we try to simplify them. We try to publish them explaining what they do, so they reduce the lead time, they increase the information towards the workers, they do this and that. And then we put them on the web page, and then we actually make an open call to have companies, external companies, applying to either learn more about them, see demonstrations about them, or explain what their challenges are. We have done that already. We are in the last year of the program now. It will end by the end of the year. We had 21 applicants. From those, we set up 9 follow-up meetings, and we will end with 6 use cases that are going all the way through. So we will have 6 success stories. What is important to say here is that we do mainly consultancy and demonstration. In some rare cases where there are solutions that can be easily deployed, we can also do some prototyping and some training there. But the idea here is to move on to the third point here, which is the market validation. So we need to gather the market feedback. So we have an idea of how we want to commercialize this. We have an idea of how we deploy this within the pilot lines, but these are already predefined from even before the project starts. So now we are trying also to gather inputs from the actual markets. What are the challenges out there? When they see our solutions and we do a demonstration, are they able to solve them? Are perhaps the solutions that we are building generic enough to work elsewhere than from the pilot lines or the specific clients that we have within the program itself? And based on that, we are gathering all the feedback. We are coming up with recommendations, next steps, potential financial projections, business model canvas and modeling. So we are coming back to what we set out to do. So where were we? What were our intentions? Have they changed? Are there anything to add and focus on? And then, of course, also if further funding is required, right? As I said, we end at a TRL 7. So there's still a few steps until actual commercialization. So what else is needed for us in order to take the next steps in getting there? And then finally, regarding the question on how this project is creating collaborative networks between the industry, the research, and the stakeholders, especially specifically to facilitate the adoption of the innovators. So we are doing a lot of training. We are doing that within the pilot lines. We are trying to build them into what we call learning paths. And we have specifically in mind that we develop a human-centered subforce. So we prioritize the workers' needs. We try to understand them. So it happens in 2 phases. First, of course, identifying the specific skills and maturity levels among the workforce and understanding what they have done. And we do that through surveys and interviews. And we actually realized that only 85% of them were already introduced to these digital solutions, right? And then the second step is that we also design the UX-driven interfaces to reduce this cognitive load. So instead of just adding a lot of complex digital solutions, claiming that they can solve things and make everything automated and easier and better, we are trying to also build it as a supporting tool towards the workers, and specifically also that the information that they get that is given is in form of instructions, so it's supporting them and not creating more chaos. On top of the training, we are doing clustering initiatives like these, both here with Red Square, Flex4S, and also other EU projects. We have an online community of the project that are connected with other projects to have a more lively engagement among the members of it. But of course also so that such an online community doesn't end by the end of the project, but it lives on. And someone that have been here from our 3 group project might also find other projects really interesting and continue to stay in such a community. Then we have our standardization activities, which is really important towards the adoption also for these innovations, to build the proper trust, to create reliability on what we are building here. And then finally, we also have a supportive partners program to really amplify and have more a broader outreach toward every stakeholder of the project, and specifically also those that can reach out even further into the industry and not just in our little tiny world of the European projects with the usual suspects. Yes, so thank you so much for your time. You can learn more about the project on r3groupproject.com, and you can also reach out to me.
Thank you, Andreas. Thank you for your presentation. Do we have some questions regarding for this project in general? We have other questions for the other project. We have like 20 minutes left, so we have some time to discuss.
Yes, actually, I have a question for Andreas. I found quite interesting the part when you discussed about the co-creation tool. My question is, what do you intend for co-creation in the sense co-creation could be offline or could be online? What I would like to know is if it's possible to, let's say, the customers and the manufacturer or the fabric or cloth or whatever cooperate together. And I ask this because apart of an obvious industrial interest, I also see an interest from the point of view of the training, in the sense that you may have a virtual training session with real people looking, interacting with you while you design the cloth, for example.
Exactly. So so this is of course one solution among many. The thing here is that it works hybridly, so it works online and offline, right? But of course, when they introduce it, the idea is that you either set up an on-site meeting or you set up a meeting alongside, and then you log in from either side, right? And then you work on it. So you can send messages in there. You can work with the tool. So if you add more fabric or you cut it or you change a color, the other end will obviously have an information, right?
Okay.
But of course, the idea here is that it's co-creation. So instead of sending all these samples back and forth, one thing is of course the resources required here. Another thing is also time, of course. And if you just grab the phone or if you see it in a picture, it's different from having this feeling that the co-creation tool is related also to the digital twin, right? So you can to some extent feel it at the same time as you're working with it, right? That's the idea, because otherwise you could just set up a camera and then you could be standing on the shop floor with a mannequin showing these things.
Of course.
But the idea is also to bring it, let's say, to the customer's hands to some extent, right? But that's more on the technical part here. I focused a little more on what we did in order to reach them. But of course, a tool like that is really getting interesting when also testing it together with the end user, right? Because the digital twinnings, those we can test, we can put them in lab facilities, we can limit them, and we can see how much they can do. But of course, this is really the co-creation really comes also when you have that feedback loop from the end user also.
That's clear.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, everyone. I would like to do a question to all of you on the project, just to have a moment to discuss on this point. In your opinion, according to your personal experience in general with the European project, what is in your opinion, the biggest challenge for an European project results to the market? Like, it can be the lack of industrial adoption, unclear business models. Like, in your opinion, what is the biggest challenge in this case?
I think this is related with Alexander's question. If you answer as Alexander's question, we have also the answer to yours. Well, in my experience, I am more on the industrial side than on the research side. And what I can say is that in various cases, the company said, they don't perceive a lot of added value at the end of the project. And I think that one of the challenges is the fact that the European project tends to be very long if compared with a regular, normal industrial process. 4 years is a geological age for a company who tends to decide in 1 month and get the results in 6 months, and it goes in production in 1 year maximum. Okay, so this is the challenge. It is too slow for them. One of the challenges, at least in my opinion.
Yes, Giuseppe, I agree with you. I don't know if there are some other opinion on that. Some other question? Yes.
Yeah, I guess it's also like from my perspective with these projects and project within EAT manufacturing, it's probably classic fragmentation, that we have too many areas and none of the area is just like main priority. So we have many priorities, and in the end, it's hard to make something valuable in any of those spheres, at least from my perspective. I'm sounding a bit skeptical here, but yeah.
You mean fermentation inside the project, or in general when you see it?
Among the projects.
Among the projects.
Yeah, so that we found too many projects too broadly, and then it's hard to find something that makes those projects align. So it's widespread.
Well, I don't know how many people of my age are here, but I started working with European project in Framework 3, okay? Framework 3 and Framework 4. And at the time, it was exactly the opposite. Smaller project with less partners, more concentrated, and it didn't work. And so they changed. But it seems that the solution is not a lot better than it was 20 years ago, 25 years ago. So I wonder what are we missing?
Okay, thank you for this perspective. Very interesting.
Okay, so thank you all of you for your opinion, for sharing your project. I will take this time for, of course, thank you again for the participation, and remind you that the webinar recording will be on the I4 Manufacturing website and also channel, YouTube channel. We will share with you as soon as possible. And just to say that also the community waits for you. So all the projects that are interested to be part of for manufacturing cities will be here. We can talk about it, and to publish your events, your online or the upcoming events, and everything you want to share on the platform regarding your project. So again, thank you for participating. This was the last webinar of the last section. So thank you again to all of you, and see you through emails. Thank you again to all of you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you all.